We now have the DG of Voice of Nigeria, and also who happens to be the chairperson of the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria. Good morning, Alhaji Abubakar Jijiwa. Welcome to Sunrise this morning.
Good morning,
Good
colleagues.
morning, colleagues. Good morning, viewers. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's start by asking, can you give us the story of how we got to this point where we are now? Because there is concern that we might have started late, but from what Godwin is saying, it wasn't a case of we started late. It's just a case of some people have chosen to be intransigent. What is the situation? How did we get to where we are now? 7 days to the first game, we're still not clear on whether we'll be able to watch the African Cup of Nations on terrestrial television in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Godwin has said it very well. Let me start by making a small correction. The initial offer was 6 million euros. Actually, the latest offer on ground is 8 million euros. So it's not even 6 million euros anymore. Um, it's not as if we woke up one morning and found ourselves in this kind of situation. We've been talking with various rights holders. It started with African Sports Consulting. Later they said no, we should deal with LC2. LC2 now said we should deal with CC Food. So we've been dealing with all sorts of organizations, but all of them are under Sports 5, which is primarily the CAF appointed rights holders. And since October, we've been talking and we've tried to offer so many variables. We've looked at our situation. The bottom line of what we're talking about is that the market in Nigeria today is not the same as the market 3 years, 4 years ago. The situation of Nigerian football is at its lowest ebb, and we're just trying to overcome some of the problems of football administration, and the entire sports environment and football environment is not good, and therefore the advert revenue coming from it is definitely down. Because of the global economic meltdown, there is every organization is trying to cut its costs, including advertising costs, and that also has affected us. But more seriously, again, this AFCON is called Orange Cup of Nations, which means it is branded by Orange. Orange is the equivalent of MTN or Etisalat or whatever, and therefore, which means you have now cut off all the telephony companies from advertising in this tournament. So, what has been happening in Nigeria is that people go to all sorts of shadowy organizations. Godwin has said it correctly. LC2 is just based in Benin Republic here. They are acting on behalf of the guys in Paris. Small-time Shylock organizations come to us with all sorts of rights and brandishing all sorts of rights, and our own broadcasters fight themselves, over these rights, and in the process make the bid unnecessarily high. And over time, Bond has come to say, hey, this kind of situation is leaving us, all of us, badly bruised, our fingers burnt, and not good for the economy, not good for professionalism of broadcasting, not good for the market, and therefore let's pull our resources together and bid commonly so that we get the best out of it. 8 million, we are talking of just less than 10 days to the tournament. 8 million euro is definitely, the economics does not add up. The financials does not add up. Therefore, it is impossible unless if there's any kind of money falling from heaven to pay for these rights, it is not possible. And therefore, people are talking of satellite. How many people, how many viewers have satellite in their homes? We are talking of terrestrial television. 90%, perhaps more than 90% of all the owners of television use terrestrial TV, not the satellite TV. They have tried to make it as cheap as possible and so on. And what we are saying, bottom line is, you can eat your rights, you can have your rights. We don't have the money to pay 8 million euros. If you want to come and set up your TV stations all over Nigeria and broadcast, good luck to you. This is the bottom line.
Take it one step after the other. Bond must have made a first bid that was said to have been rejected and the second bid that was rejected. How much did you put before them, and what was the reason for the rejection of the first two bids? And how far is Bond willing to go? How much are you looking to say, this is our bottom line, we will not go beyond this amount of money, you take it or leave it? They've made their position, take it or leave it, 8 billion or 6 billion. How much is it you've put before them?
Well, our initial bid was 1 million US dollars. It was rejected. We went for 1.3 US dollars. It was also rejected. We went to what we consider a maximum offer of 1.5 million dollars. That too was rejected. No reason was given for the rejection. They simply said it is not acceptable to them. I am not here to say that this is our final figure, but I'm telling you that anything beyond 1.5 US dollars, it doesn't make good economics at this time, especially because even if we are now agree finally with LC2 or CC Food or whatever organization it is, we are talking of less than just about 1 week of marketing. And the more we delay reaching a consensus, the less likely we are to go to the market and get the adverts revenue to enable us break even and maybe make profits for our stations. And therefore, right now, even the 1.5 million that we initially offered is no longer feasible, because if you sell it to us as 1.5, how much time do we have to go and pay to get the advert revenue of 1.5? It's very difficult, unless if maybe Nigeria sells through up to the finals and so on, and then there's renewed excitement and so on and so forth, which is, we're talking of a high-risk game. Our final position to those people making those offers is that, okay, if this is not acceptable, we listed a certain number of matches. We said the opening ceremony, the closing ceremony, the matches that Nigeria is going to play in the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals. And we offered 300,000 US dollars. In all these calculations, Bond sits with all the other stakeholders, all the broadcasters, private, public, everybody. We sit down and look at the variables, we look at the financials, we look at the economics of it, we look at where are the sources of this money. And I'm telling you that as we are talking today, if they give us these matches that we selected at 300,000, it will take a lot of hard work for us to be able to even meet this obligation. But this is our final offer to them, and we are staying there. But we are also saying there's a window. We are leaving room for negotiation, for discussion, but we cannot go beyond that. We are not going to operate at a loss. We are not going to buy this right and tell our members. The days when government used to just bankroll everything are gone. Even the government-owned stations like NTA, they live on budgets. They don't just get money anyhow. So, and then now we have more and more private participants in this game, and those people have to account to their shareholders. They have to account to their board of directors. So this is the issue.
Has there been any reaction to the offer of 300 for specific tournaments and the opening and closing ceremonies?
They also rejected that offer.
Now, this is very bad news for Nigeria. Suppose indeed, as you speculate, suppose we fumble, and what's that expression that we use in Nigeria? We fumble all the way to the final. Are you saying, therefore, that we will not be able to watch our team play in the finals of the African Nations Cup
Well, um, there is a saying that because you want to eat cow, because you want to eat meat, sorry, because you want to eat meat, you don't go and kneel down in front of a cow. Sometimes you make sacrifices in life in order to assert your integrity, your dignity, your independence, and your credibility. If it comes to that, what we are saying in Bonn is so be it. It is better we suffer now and reestablish our credibility, our dignity as a nation. People think that there's so much money in Nigeria and they can just come. What we are paying for is we are going to pay for the entire sub-Saharan Africa. What the other people are paying is chicken feed, peanuts. The 8 million euro they are asking for is is the real big money they are looking at. And we have so much eyeballs in Nigeria. We think that the time has come for us to just maybe suffer temporarily, but do the right thing so that tomorrow nobody will come and ride roughshod over us. We are dealing with a situation of cabals in the sports industry that are deeply entrenched, kind of mafia deeply built around CAF and FIFA, and this kind of arrogance, we must call off their bluff.